just going to very temporarily unlist the previous live. There we go. Okay, this should work. Yeah, I had to redo up the stream again. Not quite sure what actually went wrong here. YouTube itself cut the connection, and this was not my OBS this time. This was entirely on YouTube's end, because for some weird reason, they refused the connection from my OBS, which was absolutely weird, but it is what it is. Not going to think too hard about it. Sorry about that, fam. We're going to have to restart the poll. Do, 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 do. Okay, we're back. YouTube itself seems to be having issues right now. This one is unfortunately nothing that can be solved on our end or on YouTube's end, but we'll try to keep going. Hello, Master OK Gaming. How's it going? The only thing that I'm sad about is losing the poll data from the previous one, but it's okay. We had a general idea. My apologies. The poll has been reestablished and everything is still going. We'll go for as long as YouTube allows us to, because, like I said, the problem is not OBS or anything. This morning's stream had 0 issues. The entire problem this time around is solely due to YouTube's servers having a very, very unpleasant time. I don't know why they're having an unpleasant time. It's very strange in my personal opinion. But I think if it happens again, we'll just leave it be, and we'll just let it reconnect itself, because it's clearly having some kind of major issue. But welcome back to those of you that did come back. All right. I will resume my own gameplay in a couple of moments as well. What am I doing? Talking to my chat, dude. What else do you think I'm doing? Why do you think that, Armageddon? Why do you think it's better to wait till level 70 plus unlocks? Because you're still going to need gear from every single tier. Perfected gear for your arsenal. I mean, if you want to maximize stats. So there's still quite a bit to do, Of course, people don't like time gating, K-Matney. I mean, that's why I personally also voted that the energy system sucks. Personally, that for me is the major issue. But I'm just curious what other people think as well. Discussion was just getting fire before the last stream ended due to YouTube having a bit of a shit fit. But, well, nothing that we can do on that end, right? That is factually incorrect, Armageddon, because you will get plenty of tuning stones just from farming gear. In fact, you'll have an excessive amount of tuning stones. Let me see, where is it? It's somewhere around here. I can literally show you. I've got dozens upon dozens. Is it in the develop? I think it is. You'll have, like, dude, I've got 581 tuning stones. I could spam it all on gear, on like current gear, and there'd be no wastage. So to me, that says, that's a bit silly to be concerned in that way. Like, look, not trying to talk down to you, but genuinely, it's a bit silly to be concerned about that, because you could just spam all these tuning stones right now and still not run out. Hey, Weiss. This is between these two fans. This is a better fan, but this has, you know, more recommended stats for me. Let me swap over to my bleed farm. So my bleed raid that hasn't been saved. Weird. Anyway, let's go to my bleed farm. Four recommended stats, huh? The energy system and the time gating, I think to an extent they'd be interrelated, but yeah, people pretty much said the same thing earlier. It might indeed, but what can you do? Also, Nothingness, you asked about joining our guild, right? Okay, since you're here, let me explain it again. If you want to join our guild, you gotta be a stream supporter, Nothingness. So it's okay if you're AFK on streams, but you need to show that you're here all the time. So either you are a supporter through donations, tips, memberships, or you support the channel in other ways by like being here all the time. It's your choice whether you want to or not, but the guild is solely made up of stream supporters. So do consider that. You know, I've always encouraged people, check out my streams for a couple of days, you know, for a little while, see whether or not it fits you or suits you. And if you feel that my stream and our raid timing suit you, because our raids are usually only on Monday, we don't just raid as and when. If you find that you can be here for our raids and for our activities, you know, and you like the stream timings, then absolutely, we have plenty of space in the guild. This is the guild. You can take a screenshot once it loads up. All right, you can search for us via the ID. We accept anybody, but please take note, we welcome anyone who joins the stream. You have to be joining in the streams. All right, this is for stream supporters to join and play together with my streaming community. Well, with my gaming community. So, if you guys want to join Robot Nation, we welcome anybody. Just remember, you have to be a supporter. So you can choose to support my stream in whatever way you like, whether it's donations, tips, or you want to just show up to every stream. It's up to you, but you got to be a supporter. So do think about that before joining, yeah? Thanks, Nez. If you do end up joining us, see you in here. And of course, let me know live when I'm live on stream when you do apply. When I'm streaming Where Winds Meet, of course, and you'll be welcomed in if you decide to join up. HKH, that is a lot of the arguments that is used by people who turn away from the truth. What I will say is that these kinds of little changes, little blips, do not actually affect Steam numbers. Why? Because even though I play other games, I still log in almost daily to Where Winds Meet to do my daily stuff. Even if I don't log in for one day, it will not drastically affect Steam chart numbers. So usually when people say it's because people are playing other games, this argument has been used on previous games that I've worked on, like TFD and things like that, and the downward trend just continued all the way. It's because like people will play other games while also still logging in for their main game, you see? So do take note of that. Yeah, no problem at all, Nez. Look, like I said, I cannot verify that unless you speak up and say hello each time. So make sure that you just at least say hello if you see most of my streams and stuff so that I can verify that you do turn up. And yeah, that's no problem, all right? A lot of people, they always tell me, look, no shade, but a lot of people, they always say I'm just AFK or things like that. And I respect it. But if you're AFK and you don't say anything in chat, how do I know? You know what I'm saying? So I got to be able to verify that a person is indeed at my streams and in my chat, you know, and being a part of everything. So just do take note about that. And if you want to make sure that your presence is counted, then make sure that you always say hello. You always show up and say, hey, I'm here, you know. You gotta say something to get noticed. Because I and most other streamers, we won't actually go through our entire chat one at a time, and like we won't actually go through the chat list and say, oh, this person was AFK here, you know. So we don't know that the person has shown up for most of my videos or content or things like that. There's no way to know. So that's why I say, look, if you want to be counted as a stream supporter, make sure you're always saying hello. Make sure you're always here. I want to see your presence in chat. All right, you don't have to chat the entire time. You don't have to be here the entire time. But make your presence known, say hello, keep the streams on, and definitely you'll be counted as a supporter. Well, HKH, that's the thing. See, player counts will always go up during patches, but Where Winds Meet is the first one where new content is released and new stuff was patched in, and the player count continued dropping straight. So it's very, very interesting. Shouldn't your YouTube account be the same no matter whether you're on your phone or your laptop, dude? I mean, most people just have one account. If you tell me you're on 2 different accounts, that's a bit difficult, but okay. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's easier if you just use one account, dude. Just use one account, say that you're here, you know, say hello, and you're fine. There should be no reason for a person to have 2 different YouTube accounts. Which is a bit odd, if you don't mind me saying. Normally, people just have the one account so I can recognize them. But look, at the end of the day, it's your preference. Just make sure that whichever account you want to join us on, you are recognized for that account. Well, gacha games are a completely separate matter, Yuka. Gacha games, I think, should be counted separately and differently because most of those are about, like, people play during the updates to pull for their new character or experience new content. Then they do go away for a while, but this is not really a gacha game. Okay, you have a work and gaming account. Well, alright. I mean, look, whatever works for you, Nothingness, just do take note that, like I said, whichever account you want to be recognized on, you'll have to make sure I know it's you. So you might have to go the extra mile and just say, hey, this is Nez, you know, when you're on your other account or whatever, because at the end of the day, I can only recognize one name. That would be the case, K-Matney, if this wasn't a trend over the entire time since the all-time peak. So it's not just because of the holidays. A lot of people try and make arguments like that, but I can tell you straight up that's never the case with any game. Sure. In that case, I look forward to your continued support, Nez. As long as I can see and recognize your support, you'll be counted as a supporter. Same goes for anyone aspiring to join Robot Nation. Make sure I know that you're always here. If I know you're always here, you'll be a supporter. Either that or just tip or donate big. However you want to support the channel, we leave it up to you. But anyway, to the main topic at hand. There are many reasons that people give, but these kinds of trends, especially when they're assessed by professionals like myself, it's never because of small factors. Genuinely, people stop playing the game, never due to seasonal factors like holidays, things like that. It just never happens. Some people think it is, but it is never true. You know, people say only a Sith deals in absolutes, but I'll tell you one thing. As a professional that's worked on many games, seasonal factors, other games coming out, all of these do not ever affect a player count on the particular game dropping. You might see a very minor drop from such things, and minor means less than 1%, but it will never be more than 1%. And I can say this with absolute confidence based on all the data and research that I've done over other games. The reason is because seasonal factors don't factor into your enjoyment of the game. Usually when there's a steady player count decline or a major drop, it's due to players not enjoying the game or losing interest in the game. And these players do not come back for any reason, you know? One example that I can give you is another game that I've worked on called The First Ascendant. People used to say, oh, listen, everyone just, you know, finishes the content, they go away for a while, they'll be back at the next patch. Yet every single patch the TFD has done, less and less players came back until it got to the point where now they're entering 2026 with less than 6,000 concurrent players. Not exactly the greatest success story in history. So what a lot of people start to realize when, you know, you do this kind of thing professionally, you start to see that people, once they get bored of a game, once they put a game down, something new will catch their interest. They will usually never come back to the thing that they lost interest in the first place. It's very rare. So because of that, right, once you start seeing a serious player count drop, it's usually indicative of problems. And those problems, you know, They don't just go away. So finding out what those problems are and trying to give feedbacks to devs is usually what I do as a content creator. I try to help where I can. And that's why for me, understanding my audience, understanding their thoughts is of paramount importance. I strongly disagree with that, Yuka. The mobile community is not at all the biggest part of the game in any way, shape, or form. And I can tell you that, look, I hate saying this, and I cannot give my sources, but the mobile community is not much bigger than the PC community. In fact, people prefer playing this on console and PC due to, of course, improved graphics, better optimization, you know. Yes, it does come down to time, and therefore a game must hold a player's interest and a person's interest. So that I can understand, and that I do agree with. It will, but the thing is, as I explained earlier, I don't know if you were here earlier at the stream, but I will explain it again, HKH. SteamCharts is always used by any content creator, and I'll tell you why. All the white knights and all the people in the world, they'll always say like, oh, it's just SteamCharts, dude. We're playing on other clients. That's great for you. Except for the fact that the SteamCharts trend is across the board. It's literally across the board. Console is always going to be separated from Steam. Steam only counts Steam players, but the trend is what we're assessing. When you see a trend of a major drop like this, it means that a lot of people started out playing the game, they were happy to play the game, but they fell off. This is across the board. You will see the same fall off on PS5 if they decided to ever show their numbers. You will see the same fall off on mobile. You'll see the same fall off on any platform. All right? And even if people cite that the community is mobile heavy, I can tell you right now that players have absolutely lost interest in Where Winds Meet. There are way less players. There are way less players playing now than there was a month ago. And I can tell you that straight away, again, as a highly professional creator. You don't have to believe me, but I have worked on so many different games that I'll tell you this right now. Choose not to believe me if you want. You can go with your own information. You can go with your own decisions. Look, that's up to you guys. I can't force you to think the way that I do. But I will tell you that this was something that we saw on Helldivers 2. All right. The second the SteamCharts trended down, PS5 numbers trended down. Guess what? You can see PS5 players because you can see how many Helldivers are active. In fact, the PS5 fall off on Helldivers 2, whenever there was a fall off, was almost double that of PC. When there was like 60,000 Helldivers still on PC, there were only like 20,000 on PS5. PS5 will always be less than PC. And people might say, oh, mobile's a big gaming community. Yeah, no, it's really not. And how do I know this? Because mobile games are always approaching me to do their content. Now, I always tell the devs, I don't play mobile games strictly, right? It has to be available on PC before I play it. But here's the other thing. Mobile games, there are so many that are releasing. And whales, they stay on a game where they can pay to win. They want to be number one. They'll spend a lot of money to do so, and then they'll move over to the next game. And there are always new games coming out on mobile that draw people away, that draw their interest. For example, Genshin Impact enjoyed such a large success, right? Then Wuthering Waves came out. Genshin players moved over. Then Zenless Zone Zero came out. More players moved over from both those games. Then you've got Duet Night Abyss. Players went there again. You know, mobile is a constant churn. So mobile rarely, if ever, holds interest. And here's the thing. Even if you play on mobile, it will never be as much of a good experience as PC. People choose mobile sometimes because they don't always have access to their PC. They're not like me. I get to sit here 7-8 hours a day just in front of my computer just doing my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a completely different situation to a lot of people. Most people can't, or rather will not get an opportunity to be in my situation. So, you know, I completely understand that, but you got to also understand that mobile will never grow past or show a different trend to Steam. Once it falls on Steam, it falls across the board. That's why Steam is always cited. If you look at a lot of YouTubers, they still rely on Steam because Steam, we're not saying that these are all the players in the game. We understand that players are on all platforms. But we do understand that the trend on Steam is the trend everywhere. Feel free to disagree with me, but there are no numbers that can prove that I'm wrong because no other platform shows numbers. If there was a way to show numbers, I would happily accept evidence that I'm wrong. But thus far, for every game that I've played, I've never been wrong. Yeah, I can understand that, but for me as a true gamer, HKH, I cannot stand lower spec. I have to have the highest specs possible. That's why I spent $3,000 on this RTX 5090. Killed my bank account, but I tell you, you know, when gaming is your life, you gotta spend on it. I completely understand, though, that if they have a lower spec version, you might move over there, which is totally cool. And I don't disagree with you, you know. Some people would definitely move for that reason, but in general, trends are often, because look, what you got to understand is that trends are an amalgamation of all evidence. It's not just one player's reasoning, you see. Even right now, you can look at the poll that we have as a bit of a microcosm of what we're talking about. A lot of people turn their eyes away from reality because, not saying you guys, but I'm saying a lot of people do, because they don't want to admit that their favorite game might be going out of style. But if you look here, lots of people have already cited, and in the previous poll during the half-hour stream that kind of got cut because YouTube decided to be a little nerd, during that particular stream, what actually happened was that a lot of players did cite that energy system was holding them back, and I do agree, you know. So a fall in player count is usually a trend. And these trends, you know, while there might be some minor reasons here and there, they usually follow the majority reason. And that's the whole reason I had the poll today as well. Just to see what would be the majority reason if people got a chance to pick. Would it be other reasons? Or would it mostly be one reason? And you know what? The polls did prove that indeed there is one major reason. People don't seem to want to be gated from gaming. You know, like we mentioned earlier during the earlier stream, and I'm so sorry that it got cut. You know, I wish I could control YouTube and their shitty servers, but I can't. What people cited earlier was that it's just boring because, you know, you want to grind gear, but you can't. You want to grind the game, but you can't. Then it's like energy system, come back tomorrow. People don't want to come back tomorrow. People just don't come back tomorrow. They'll just play some other game that they can have fun on for 8-9 hours, and you know, when they get bored, they'll leave that game too. That's the way gamers work. You know, we want to spend all of our time on something and have fun. And when you limit my time, when you limit what I can do, you know, I don't feel like coming back. Listen, me and Addy Zero, rather than giving less loot for everything, I think the loot system is fine, just that they can remove the double and triple claims. They can remove the energy system, but remove the double and triple claims, and there we go. No problems. You know? These are mobile systems that are designed for China, where they have a limitation on their gaming hours. We in global and around the world, we don't have such limitations. As I was saying in the earlier stream, people want to literally play a game and then die in their gaming chair. You know, that's a true gamer's death. It's like going to Valhalla. You know, we should be able to endlessly farm. Gamers have always wanted to achieve gaming Valhalla by dying in their gaming chairs. Ever since World of Warcraft, people would stay online for 200 hours and just die in their chairs. Now that is a true gamer's death. Now, while I do not encourage such unhealthy habits, look, at the end of the day, we should decide how we spend our time. We should not be limited, and somebody should not decide for us. For example, if you don't like it when politicians decide stuff for you via the government, then why are we accepting the fact that devs can decide our gaming for us? Keep the China rules for China. I agree with that. Because we Americans, all right, we want a game until we die. That's fine, A-Story. But yeah, you know, this was a joke that I made earlier, but anyway, all jokes aside, you know, we should be allowed to do what we need to do. You know, it's our game, it's our life, it's our console, it's our PC. We have control over it, and if you take away control from me, I'll just stop using your product. You know what I'm saying? Now, TFD devs didn't listen to me when I warned them that, hey, man, you guys should be concerned about this downward trend. You know, they weren't concerned. Why? Because they listened to content creators that were bigging them up and rubbing the balls. You know, they listened to content creators that said, hey, you're doing fine. You're doing great, you know? listen to this absolute neckbeard who spent $200 freaking dollars on ancestral mod just so that he could be a part of a Reddit post where everyone made fun of him for being a damn neckbeard. All right, that guy's a total freaking loser, and he'll never be anything in this world because he is literally a sad man who thinks you can buy power on YouTube. You know, you can't do that. And in the same way, you can't just listen to the people that are telling you you're doing well when data and evidence shows that you're doing badly. Free Jade? I didn't see it, sorry. I didn't think about it, at least. Nope, no idea, A-Story. I don't follow any news on this game. I just let my people tell me when stuff happens. So when my people start talking about it in chat, that's when it's probably happening. It's not per day, dude. They just have an energy system that is... Well, I explained it in a separate video, but there is an energy system. And yeah, Leroy Jenkins was iconic, wasn't he? Those kinds of World of Warcraft moments wouldn't have happened if they had limited playtime. Can you imagine World of Warcraft where they say, guys, okay, so here's 3 hours playtime and, you know, here's all the energy you get to grind your gear? Yeah, that's it. That would never work. And that's why people still play World of Warcraft. That's why people still play Warframe. Warframe is one of the healthiest player bases in history. I'm talking. Do you know, guys? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Truffles. Yeah.
Not me being on Warframe right now.
This absolute loser plays Warframe all the time.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm gonna disrespect you right here. Imagine playing Warframe. Gross, bro. Gross. But, you know, in all fairness.
Yeah, at least I have fun.
No, you're right about that. Warframe is one of the healthiest player bases, you know, in the world. Did you know that Warframe has, and look, I know that they don't show their console numbers, but if you knew the console numbers, like I said, I've got a source that I'm not going to cite because it's, let's just say that it's a special source that's only available to people like me. But through my special source, did you know that Warframe has a total concurrent player base on Steam? 100,000, right? But Steam doesn't tell the whole story. Warframe has a total concurrent player base of approximately, okay, 214,000 per day. All right, that's how crazy you're getting per day, every day. 214,000 people around the world at peak time log into the game. If you do the proper moving average, which I can showcase to you guys, their actual player base per day is somewhere about like 600 to 800,000 per day if you know how to do the moving average. I might showcase that to you guys in a separate video because that's usually something that only content creators use for very nerdy assessments of whether or not we are going to make money on a game, etc. Yeah, if we're just talking peak numbers, 214k peak. All right, if you want to use the moving average that content creators use, I'm talking 600,000 people logging in every day. I don't think it's slow on releasing content, but you could have a point, A-Story. Fair enough. People who like story might be turned away by the slower pace. I understand that. And look, honest advice, you don't want to be spoiled on a game, don't watch a stream about it, dude. Like, just have to be very straight up about that. Ye who do not want to be spoiled on a game, thou must not watch a stream on it. EMSA, I do find the combat very entertaining, but the biggest problem for us now seems to be the energy system. Because for hardcore gamers, it is a major limitation, and we don't like that. We the type of people that like to be able to do whatever we want. Okay. Rendezvous with the informant. 0 FPS, the game tells you exactly what to do, dude. You want to raise your status? Just gain merits. How do you gain merits? Jianghu errands wandering together. There you go. That's how you increase your merits, dude. And they literally tell you here, man. Merit gain. Just gain merit, dude. Ladies and gents, please remember, all sects operate on the same basis. So when you go into sect, it will tell you the status. You want to upgrade your status. They will tell you everything. All right, so make sure you always check down the bottom of the screen right there. Okay, you haven't checked down the bottom of the screen. This will be your most helpful thing. Let me just remove my camera so I can show you. Okay, you should always check everything. Press every button here. Don't ever fail to press these buttons. Okay, you got to do that. So make sure you always do this kind of thing. All right. I myself am going to leave this sect soon, though, because I pretty much have everything I need. Oh, yeah.
What the Well of Heaven?
Yeah, I'm going to leave soon. It's not available in my country and region A story. But sorry, I won't be referencing or talking too much about other games unless it's in direct context, if you don't mind. But no, it's not available in my region. Yes, read everything on your screen. I promise you it'll be very helpful to you guys. If you check everything, you will know pretty much everything about this game. This game usually tells you everything, but you might have to do a bit of reading, so just make sure you do that. Now, enter the memory location. Not really. They're just mostly for outfits. Okay, let's write an article.
Oh.
Alright, today is Gen Z Xianghu unemployed. Yeah, you missed pretty much the entire discussion, Anthony, but it's okay. You can always watch the stream back. You know, Donnie still needs to teach me how to submit articles to her. I remember Rena told me, but I've forgotten. And the chat moved on from there. Actually, wait, Rena's right here. Rena, how do I submit an article? God, having this mic is really uncomfortable.
You could
Happy
try
New
to
Year,
find
Vec.
a blind spot to put it in.
Oh no, I could just remove it, but I'm just having it here just to get a feel for everything. You know how it is. I'm a tester. I'm a beta tester. Anyway, let's have a look at the poll so far. Yeah, after 74 votes, most people are saying that the energy system sucks. It does seem to be the most, well, the biggest issue. Remember, ladies and gents, nobody likes to be gated. Nobody likes to have their progress gated. That is something that needs to be changed, in my personal opinion. And I do hope they will change it. Got it? You ended up being sent to jail, Lewis. Damn, you criminal. You criminal. The flight is always majestic, true. You keep dying the beauty of the shade. I have no idea what the beauty of the shade is. Enlighten me. Why do you keep dying while farming this beauty of the shade? Okay, I gotta go do my dailies. Let's go beg. Time to go begging. I still remember when Truffles went begging for coins. That still amuses me greatly.
Yes. Kind donations.
Yeah, I'm supposed to give her like her daily profile like. Forgot about that.
I think the beauty of the shade the guy's referring to is the repeatable mission with a quote-unquote exploit
Oh, okay.
that was mentioned in stream.
Oh, it's some
I
exploit
think,
mission.
if I remember
Cool.
correctly.
If that's the case, then I can offer you no advice on it. We don't deal with any exploits. Me neither. Never been arrested because I'm a nice guy.
That's what they all say.
I'm a guy that's nice. I'm a nice that's guy. I'm guying nicely.
Guy nice.
Yep, guy nice.
Instead of guy theory, it's guy nice.
Yep. That's who I am.
Yes, yes, I haven't really logged into that game as well. In 3 days.
You weakling. But I understand. It is your ninja way of life.
Yes.
Okay. Now that I'm done being a beggar.
Give me money.
Are you like just fighting him for yourself, or are you just doing the no-hit challenge? I mean, if you're doing the no-hit challenge, then you're subjecting yourself to that, K-Madney. But if you're fighting him for an actual reason, then bruh, do your best. Okay. Now time for me to do my giveaway. Okay, done. Now to avoid these people playing their stupid ass sounds, guys, let me treat you some K-pop instead. You guys ready? Okay, have some K-pop.
Don't blink. Don't breathe. Just stay. Exactly like that. Frozen in the frame, I'm a masterpiece. Bound by the chains, I will never find peace. Click flash, look into the lens. This is where the human story ends. I'm a monument of gold in a hall of lies. Can't you see the hunger in my stone cold eyes? 진열대 위에 놓인 껍데기, looking perfect while I'm dying. Can't you see? Don't let the crack show, don't let the pain peel. Forget the person that I used to be. 온 세상이 날 지켜보고 있어. 숨조차 쉴 수 없는 이 고요. 차가운 손끝에 닿은 나의 심장. It's turning into stone, I'm losing 속에 갇힌 채 I'm just a statue in your display Bring me down, set me free 제발 나를 여기서 꺼내줘 I'm screaming silence I'm dying to be Let it fall
And that is my new K-pop group, the Gotcha Boys. I wrote their entire song, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to support my music, make sure you hit up my SoundCloud and Spotify, as well as any other major music platform. I'm also on YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and Apple, iTunes, whatever the hell they call that. All right. Great. All my dailies are done. My Jianghu errands, my Hujiang errands are done.
YouTube just trolled you by playing an ad during your music.
No, that's just for you. They don't play for every single person. At the same time, it's
I mean,
staggered.
yeah, but play for me.
I know. Hashtag sad. But it's okay. You don't listen to K-pop anyway. Okay, now back to the actual game. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Okay. Now that I'm back here, let's see, what other dailies do I have to finish? Actually, I should do the bounties for this week. And then I have to question, why on earth would I be running? There I was, literally running toward my opponent when I could just... Hey, Madazri. Okay, one down. Next tool. Grind exhaustion? We can't even grind. How can we be exhausted? If it... Oh, lol. It's back, don't worry. These YouTube servers have been absolutely wild. It was absolutely perfect this morning. Then in the evening, it just decides, you know what? Yeah, New Year. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's weird to me. I don't know why YouTube has like these weird issues. Okay, dude's in another gameplay. Yeah, YouTube is clearly still drunk from New Year's. If only player bounties were more honorable. Like, if they let me just properly bounty the dude, sure, no problemo. But then they don't, you know? Sure, Muede, no problem. But if you want to join our guild, you need to be a stream supporter. So please make sure you take note of that rule, alright? You can become a stream supporter either by donating, tipping, and stuff like that, or you can watch the streams, alright? But you need to make sure that you're always here. So the choice is yours. I will happily show you the guild code in just a second. For anyone that wants to join the Robot Nation, same thing. Alright, we welcome everybody. We don't care about your power level or stuff like that. But if you want to join us, then please do make sure... Oops, sorry. Wrong menu. Please do make sure. This is our guild. This is our guild code and everything. You can take a screenshot. But yeah, just make sure that you show up to stream and support the streams. This is a guild only for stream supporters. Well, make sure you're always here, Moede. As long as you're always here all the time, no matter what I'm streaming, you'll be counted as a supporter. If that's not feasible for you, you can always tip and donate. We also accept big donators, tippers, things like that. Basically, whoever supports the channel gets into the stream. Simple enough rules. How you support it is up to you. Because we're also starting to expand now for... Eddie and Donnie will be doing recruitments, but we're basically starting to expand right now for Guild Wars. Guild PvP should be fun. And of course, I will call Truffles on those days. Pardon? Yeah. On that day, bro. I will call you.
I mean, I'm not the highest ranked in PvP.
Doesn't matter. You've got skills enough. Yeah, my brother. It's not like you can't handle it. Okay, Muede, that kind of stuff is not allowed on YouTube.
What the heck?
I told Donnie to tell you, Eddie. You and Donnie are in charge of recruitment. Please take note that if you break YouTube terms of service, you will be chat banned. Please don't do that, and you also won't be allowed inside the guild. So let's not do that. Okay, this is how I make my living, so either obey YouTube terms of service, or you will be unobeyed. But yes, Eddie, you and Donnie are in charge of recruitment, so make sure to get us some new souls. I can't believe she didn't tell you. She was supposed to do that job. I gave her one freaking job. Can you scold her later? Just say the scolding is from Robot. How dare she not tell you that you guys are supposed to recruit? Okay. Don't worry, I'll brief you now in our private chat. No, if you die to a bounty hunter, you only go to jail if you committed a crime. Otherwise, nothing. There's no consequences. You don't lose anything, dude.
I think B's trying to get rid of civilian witnesses.
Indeed. So basically, just don't commit crimes and you're fine. If you're a criminal, then, well...
And just get rid of witnesses.
Yeah, sure.
Not that I'm advocating for it, but, you know. Don't do crime. But if you must, don't get caught. In game.
That's completely fine, but like I said, you got to be a stream supporter to join us, Odin Allfather. So if you but why wouldn't you do guild content after 400 hours, dude? Guild content is like super important. Anyway, if you want to join the guild, no problem. There's only one requirement: support the stream. How you choose to do it is up to you. You want to be a donator, tipper kind of guy, you can do that. You want to just show up to all the streams, you can do that. Basically, that's our only requirement. Support the channel, support the stream, because it's made up of basically my stream community, all my supporters. So yeah, that's literally it. Here is the guild page if you are interested. We welcome everybody. We don't care about your skill level, like power level, whatever. Like there's no requirements other than supporting the channel. Ta-da! Here's our page. Feel free to join us. The person who's changed sects is Eddie right now. You can ask him, Madazri. Eddie, could you please brief Madazri over there on what it's like to change your sect? Give him the harsh reality of being sectless. Nah, just kidding.
He is not Midnight Blades anymore?
I think he got the outfit, so he's finished. I'm also done with Well of Heaven. I'm just lazy to change right now.
Well, I guess I'm the only Midnight Blades feather.
No, Cookies and Midnight Blades for some reason.
Since when?
Since the start of the game. She just hasn't got the outfit yet. I too am going to join Midnight. I decided not to join 9 Lancia for now.
I'm gonna join 9 Multiplies last, cause you know that is where I wanna stay. It wouldn't look good if you just actually just to exit, right?
No, it'll look perfectly fine. I'm waiting for Lone
That
Cloud.
lag on the host is bad. I might have just lagged out the host really bad.
Lol. Congratulations on liking the host. You can repair your gear anytime, Moyade. Just literally hit this and press the repair button. Do you see repair down there? This is why we say it's very important, guys. Another important requirement for our guild. Please be able to read. Because if you are literate in this game, you will see a button that says repair. You can just repair it anytime, dude. Okay? So please make sure you guys read, okay? Reading is important. Reading and comprehension skills, which they taught you in school, is very important. So please read. Lol, Eddie. Yes, Eddie means sect. You'll be sent for 24 hours. Ah, then I gotta leave Well of Heaven now. Shit. Okay.
Imagine if you're hunted as well. The previous sect.
Yep, that would be pretty swankalicious. Swap to PvP.
Time to destroy
There's this guy.
side with my Warframe.
Is this guy not fighting back? I mean, that's okay for me, but...
Maybe he's AFK. Might be AFK. You never know.
No, he was just moving. Okay, cool.
Maybe he
Easiest
just-
bounty ever.
Didn't want to bother.
Nice.
Maybe he's just doing charity work.
Thanks for the charity, I guess. Caspercio. Should I just bow over his corpse or something? Sicily. Am I stuck in his world now? Don't tell me he lagged out or something. Don't I get sent back to my world when bounty complete?
You and me both lagging out in someone else's server.
Soka.
我错了。
小女子呀，
站住！
Oh yeah, no, I know sometimes it lags. Well, the bounty's done. So I guess I'm finished.
Need to have speed casting on this build.
Okay. Well, back to reality, I guess. Okay, I'll just go catch the horse thief, which is somewhere over there. I'm just going to assume the bounty's completed. Like, it is what it is. No, I do not, A story. Oh, whoops, this is my PvP build. Ah, well, whatever.
What the hell?
Mr. A story, that is a terrible question to ask, sir. I don't know you well enough to explain that. If you want to ask personal questions, sir, then please become my friend first and get to know me. I don't know you well enough to answer any of those kinds of questions, sir. Okay, so let's keep the discussion to this game, okay? And maybe in future, if you're actually my friend, then I'll answer those questions. Yeah.
The funny thing is, he could technically see you where you're from if you just did a little bit around the page.
Well, yes, but you do realize that the reason why I just tell people this is so that those who do not want to read, you know, it helps to filter them out.
Yeah.
You want to become my friend, don't ask me awkward and weird questions, support the stream properly, and don't be a weirdo in chat, dude. Just be a normal person. You know how you used to make friends in school? That's the exact same way, dude. Did you go up to your friend in primary school and say, "Hey, so what kind of race are you?" No, right? You just had fun with your friends, so make sure you're supporting, make sure you're here, and eventually, when I get to know you well enough, and when I greet you in a friendly and nice manner, you'll be considered a friend. All right, there's a bit of a boundary between viewers and friends. Okay, so let's not blur those boundaries, sir. For now. Yeah, you know, borrow my crayons, totally cool. Okay, I can see you trolling, so here's a 24-hour chat ban. Boom.
The fuck?
Yep. And once they reveal themselves, boom, 24 hours. Simple and easy. Okay, let's do some bounties since I got the vibe. Okay. People are naturally wild. No problem, David. Hope to see you whenever. Sorry to hear about that that PS5 experience for you, Finesse. What a shame. It's okay. If he tries to come back, then same thing will happen again and again. I'll remember him as an eternal troll. But may as well let these losers increase my engagement.
Let's see if we'll remember this.
Why is this guy up here? I mean, I can still heal this person up here, but whatever.
He's just a mountain goat.
Yep, dude's a mountain goat, that's for sure. Okay. I'm getting out of this place. You know what? I'll spend some time bountying.
Plus, I mean, I'd say that for Warframe, the most recent update really brought a lot of people back.
Yep, I'm sure it did.
I mean, Warframe players like Edge, and they released an edgy frame, literally a demon.
Okay, whatever, bro. You go play your weirdo game. Okay, leave us alone.
Yeah, whatever you say. Whatever allows you to sleep at night.
This will allow me to sleep at night. Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Senji. Happy New Year to you too, pal.
Only me. I'm the only one who plays in chat mostly.
No. Vengeance also plays. Rena also plays. Some of these dudes
right,
play,
Rena.
but usually we avoid too much discussion on it because this is a Where Winds Meet stream anyway, and I like to focus on that.
Yeah.
I only ever use it when I only ever talk about it when I need an example on something because it is still one of the most enduring games in history. But unfortunately, when I played TFD, Warframe players were big troll. It turned me off the community so much that I would literally never bother picking it up. I politely refuse and decline ever picking up
Yeah,
Doorframe.
I'm ashamed about the stupid people in the community. Used to be
It's
so
okay.
good.
It's okay. But like I said, you guys enjoy what you guys enjoy. False accusation bounty. Let's do
I
some
do
of
not engage in
this.
a community.
It's okay. You're my community. That's all that matters. Oh shit, what did I do this stupid minigame? Oh my god, what a freaking waste of my time. Whatever. Sorry, fam. I normally don't bother playing the minigame. I just do the quick one. Now, come on. Give me a real bounty. Give me a player bounty so I can kill somebody. Yeah, I hear you on that, Keegan. So thank you for sharing that. A lot of people feel the same, especially because of the energy system. So yeah. Vended? I don't know. I think it depends on the PS5. Not every PS5 is the same, you know? I know that for some people's PS5 it runs bad. They could be on a older model or whatever. For some other friends, it runs really good, so...
There's a chance they never maintained it.
There's a chance they never maintained it, yeah. It's just like, there's a lot of people on PC, right? But for me, I'm on like a super beast PC. So for me, every game runs perfectly on max ultra settings, ray tracing enabled, you know what I'm saying? So kind of like that, man. Oh my god, this guy called himself Lord Qin Shi Huang. Okay. Come, Qin Shi Huang.
Mhm. Interesting.
Yeah, but the target is in another game.
What's he gonna do?
He's gonna to the emperor, to the Huangdi. Oh my god, some other nerd accepted it.
Gonna start a whole new dynasty.
Oh, I got Ma Chao. Let's engage in an honorable fight. Where is he? Is he running away from me? Oh, he's using his lightness skill to get away. Okay. Well, you might have to watch the stream back because I'm not going through the whole discussion again. But long story short, player counts dropped by 65%. Okay, if you run away from a bounty or you choose to use lightness skills to escape, no problem. He probably
Well,
is.
he killed his guards as well.
Yeah, I'm looking around to see if he did that. Otherwise, I'll just go farm resources or do other things. My guild is called the Robot Nation. So, if you want to join us, you have to be a stream supporter, David. So, how do you become a stream supporter? There's two ways. You can donate or tip big, become recognized that way, or you can show up and support all the streams. Choice is yours, but we welcome anybody. We don't care about your power level or anything like that. So, yeah, this is the Robot Nation. All right, if you become a stream supporter, feel free to apply. Either way works. I really recommend, though, that you check out our... that you check out the stream timings and all that, you know, see whether or not it works out for you. If it does, good. If it doesn't, it's okay. I am debating. Oh, I cannot steal their resources. Sad. Would have been cool.
You can't kill their enemies also?
Yeah, I cannot steal their resources, unfortunately. I can't commit crimes in their city. If I could, though, it would be fun. Anyway, this guy's guards are already dead, so that means he must be a frequent swimmer.
What?
And there must be somebody who swims a lot. Because according to this, I can see the dude is like literally out here. Swimming. They're somehow in the air. Above. Not quite sure how, but...
They probably built something.
Yep, they probably built a fort up there. Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
No, he's over here,
What is this,
apparently.
Fortnite?
冬至一到，在于外棚。花布朗，
Oh
春分秋分，日在中横。
Yeah, the guy's still running. Oh my god.
Yep.
He's playing a game of hide and seek.
Yep.
岳不伤。
Funny fella.
这儿能装1袋、2袋、4袋，24得8，8、8、72。完了，又跑神儿了。
冬至日到，在于外棚。
I don't understand like why these people are so afraid though. If you do bad stuff and you get a bounty, just fight. It's not that hard. I wish that we had the same thing as in Perception Forest, where you can like
春分秋分，日在中横。
Oh yeah, that skill.
where you can like paralyze them.
春不谢。
Like they're literally this scared. Because most people are cowards, they're just afraid. But it's just a game, dude. There's nothing wrong with like being killed. It's not like you lose anything. It's not like you're gonna, you know, suffer. Like, it's not like they can't fight. So what's going on, you know?
“这儿能装1袋。”
如为一谈。
Yeah, this dude's a massive coward.
知道。花不老。
No problem.
医者，当不得有隐。若水行善。地法不盘。
Wait, am I not allowed to deflect that? Oh, lol. Actually, you can just waste arrows on me. I mean, he is hell-bent on not dying, but so am I. Like, if, you know, you spend all your time running, then up to you. You waste my time, I waste your time. LOL. He built a fort. He built a fort to escape. LOL. Okay.
So I did guess him.
Yeah, he did build a fort to escape. That's just sad. Go ahead, range at me from there, man. Waste your arrows. Now, let me see. Do I get to report this player?
I believe you do.
Yes. There we go. Okay, since he's there, I believe the bounty ended. Yes, but also the other big problem mashing button is that it definitely, in my personal opinion, is no good, because once you start to see the downward trend, there'll be a big downward trend pretty much forever until the game dies. No game has managed to turn it around so far except for No Man's Sky and Helldivers. These are literally the two exceptions, so yeah. The solution is very simple. As soon as you get a bounty, like, doesn't matter what the bounty is, you go there and you fight. You kill the bounty hunter, good. You can't kill the bounty hunter, I mean, that's on you, you know? So, at the end of the day, I feel that it doesn't matter what your goose is. If you get a bounty hunter comes in, trap both players in an arena. Like, they cannot move within a certain location. Or when you get hunted, you get sent to somewhere like a perception forest arena. Like, there's a lot of solutions that I think would work. Like, as soon as you're out of whatever gameplay, just like give the player 2 minutes. Say you have been hunted, you are being hunted, and then after that you get teleported to an arena with somebody else, and then both of you duke it out. You know. I kind of get what they were going for initially, but there's just too many ways to abuse the system. So I feel that if you run from your bounty, it should count as getting arrested. So there must be a way to like force them to stand and fight, however it's done. But the problem is I don't want them to cost players resources or things like that, because that'll turn players away from the game. Basically, this is an anti-crime system. They're getting reported for actually committing a crime. Or if they just leave their false accusation there, then, I mean, that's up to them. I personally wouldn't, but, you know, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I feel that if they don't want their system abused, they need to come up with a way for players to be able to hunt freely, you know, and just make it a fair fight between both players. But yeah, this dude definitely is a frequent runner, because based on what I've seen in his world, his guards are already dead. Being hunted is part of the bounty process, yes. But when people run away too much, because
kill the guards.
there's no counter to running. So that's kind of thing.
I could you just kill the guards for loot.
Hi, buddy. Let's duel.
天下在地。地法不凡，
越不相符。
Like this kind of thing, I respect it. You know, dude stood, fought.
地法不凡。
That was a good fight, you see? So now that's a good fight, you know? Oops, this mic keeps poking stuff. Gosh darn it, maybe if I just angle it up. There we go. Looks a little weird inside of my vision, but this'll work temporarily. Yeah, I've heard of people hiding in dungeons and stuff like that. I mean, overall, there's lots of ways that they can get around it, but I still feel, yeah, it's not a good thing. I do hope that they take a serious look at the bounty system and understand that it's very frustrating for us. As a healer, I don't do PvP as a healer, dude. If you want a PvP, get a PvP build. I've heard that some people can do well as healers, but I wouldn't know. I don't play heal build at all. So the only tip I can give you is, well, find a way or get a proper PvP build. Or just play Perception Force where everything's fair. But nobody should ever PvP as a healer. Unless you have some weird strategy. I know there's some people that use the macros and hacks, which are not really good. I mean, you want to go down that path, you can. But it's really up to you. Oh, it's already been accepted by somebody else. Damn. Somebody got that macro to claim.
Alright. Time for me to build up.
See ya.
Bye.
What's a good PvP build? Anything works. There's a multitude out there. You should experiment and learn. I actually just use my raid build for PvP now because I'm too lazy to change. It's mostly just about your skills anyway. If you have the skills, you can literally win with any build. Well, probably except healing, because technically it doesn't really have damage techniques. But I have seen healers win as well. Just that I don't know how to do that. Like, I just use my raid build, and what I do is I just hit him with the strategic sword, Heaven Quaker, all that kind of stuff. The best way to learn, just go in and keep playing it, dude. Like, there is nobody that can give, even if I gave you tips, you won't be able to apply them. Not because I doubt your skill, but rather verbal tips or any kind of tips that you see in a video, all of it's going to go out the window. Just get yourself a build that you are familiar with. That's my recommendation. Just go in and start fighting. Then as you learn what other people use, you'll also learn what works for you. I use a slightly different build to most people because I don't personally like the way most other people do it, but it works just fine for me. And the only other thing I'll say is that Perception Forest is different from the 1v1 arena. So whatever you learn in Perception Forest probably is not going to help you. Hey Mo, it's going all right? Yes, it does take muscle memory. It does take that kind of skill. You have to know your buttons very well. And the problem for me is that I'm so used to like certain button combos that I will automatically press them when my combination is completely different for PvP. So, yeah. That's why I can take a warm-up match or two before the muscle memory kicks in again. So thanks for pointing that out. Yes, that is correct. Muscle memory is a big thing. Chen Shuangling. Player Peng Ye. I don't think it'll ever come faster, Charles. And I think player numbers will keep dropping because I don't think that's the only gripe. Those people who are waiting for content, they won't wait forever. Same with other games. It's quite common. So I am 95% sure that the player count will continue dropping because based on what we've seen today, the biggest problem appears to be energy system. Although 24% saying other reasons is pretty interesting. But the vast majority is all energy system. Yes, mystic skills are very important. Choose ones that suit you and that will work well for you and your combinations. That can be something that would be pretty important. That's clear. Nice. Still another gameplay. Okay, not gonna waste my time. Yeah, no problem, Trinivic. I hope you'll enjoy my Where Winds Meet content as well, since that is my primary content right now. Damn. Come on. Damn. Sure. I mean, if your friend is satisfied with that. A lot of people say that, but usually they either got very lucky with gear or they're just behind on gear in some other weird way. But it's up to them anyway. At the end of the day, it's their choice. That being said, I'm 95% certain that after the next breakthrough, he'll play for about 5 days and then quit. Because anyone that waits for next breakthrough, once there's no longer any breakthroughs, none of them are going to play. I will happily change my mind if after the next breakthrough, people actually bother coming back and playing. To me, won't happen. You can hide in the bathhouse? That's pretty interesting. Oh, this guy hasn't even loaded in. Well, then there you go. Look forward to your friend quitting in about 3 days, buddy. Oh, lol. I see, I see. So that's why. Interesting. Let's go. This guy will probably kill me, but it's fine. I like that. Let's go see where he is. Swimmer, huh? Okay, I'm not gonna waste my time chasing you. Let's go see if they've got any guards around. Come at me, guards. Let's have some fun. I should have switched to my raid build, but I can't switch during battle, huh? Okay, wait. I'm gonna switch to my farming build so I have Ghostbind. Because I keep forgetting I don't have Ghostbind with that one. And I need Ghostbind to kill him. But yay, I can finally do the thing. Okay. Now let's go back there. I have a good 12 minutes, so let's go kill all of his guards.
就不错。
Hi, guards. I mean, if they're not gonna fight me, then, well, I'll find something to fight. Right? No, I don't think so, dude. Nobody's asking for something from another Earth or future, dude. Nobody's complaining about the game either. We want the game to be better. That's the important thing. We want this game to be the greatest game in history, but we kind of can't help it if the game itself, you know, is not letting itself reach greatness here. The game's not dead, so we don't need to bring it back to life, but I think we need to address player complaints. The most important thing is that players need their complaints addressed. And the main complaint right now is just that, well, energy system sucks. Like I told everybody, save it all until tier 71 gear. The normal energy you have and regenerate is more than enough. There's still more. Okay, first of all, J-Law, that is blatantly untrue. So, look, guys, I'm here to have a civil discussion. If you guys just want to spout shit, you will simply be removed from the stream, so do take note of that, yeah? The game is not dead. There's nothing like that going on, so please don't be silly, okay? If you do not want to participate in the discussion in a normal manner, like, yo, that's totally cool, but this isn't a stream for trolls. If you troll here, you will simply be removed, so take note of that, yeah? Thank you all kindly for your understanding. Hell yeah. Now this is a fight.
下之道，在内为。若是行善，好。春日之风，志在中恒。
Well, that's why you're supposed to have a strong guild. You're supposed to do that kind of stuff only with your guild. Yep. We had a swimmer, Eddie. He went swimming, so... Since he went swimming, all his guards die. Yep, I'm planning on doing that now that I'm pretty much done with the bounties.
盖地，
Now that I've had a good enough time doing this, I'm actually going to be looking at the scripts and scrolls. I still got more to kill though. So until the timer runs out, 3 kills. Oh, yo, did you guys see that? Oh. I think the bounty's over. Am I being forcibly sent back to my world? That's weird. My stuff is all bugged.
群为一。
I can still heal, but my endurance is like perma-bugged. This is so weird, dudes. Yeah, we had an Olympic swimmer. But you gotta love the bugs. Anyway, I got a good portion of the guards. Most of them are dead. Yeah, my energy is bugged. I literally cannot do anything, which is quite funny. But since these guards have reset their position, yeah, I actually cannot hit them anymore. Okay. I can now give up. My energy got bugged out. I got about half his guards though. So anyone that sees that guy again, you know, they'll be like, hey, half the guards are gone. Good way of just dealing with these nerds. That's his world. When you go to a bounty, what I do is that if they're a runner or if they're somebody that like goes swimming, go kill all their guards in Kaifeng. Because those guards will not respawn and apparently they're necessary for a later quest. So this is our punishment. Like, because look, them on running is also unfair. So on Reddit, everybody found out that this is the best way to punish runners. So when you commit a crime and you get a bounty on you, if you choose to do something unfair like running, we'll just go and kill all your guards. If the guards didn't bug out, it would have killed more. So this is the counter if they choose to run, if they choose to float. It's not enough of a punishment, I think, but it's one of the best ones. That's why I was checking around. It doesn't soft lock them out, no. It just makes one of their story quests harder. Because the guards are later supposed to help you defend Kaifeng or something like that. So it's just supposed to make it a little bit harder on them. I don't think it soft locks them out of the stuff, because if it did, that would also be pretty unfair. If it inflicted undue harm on somebody, I would probably not do it. But since I know it won't actually harm them greatly, like it's just like a minor thing, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. If it's a minor thing, I find that acceptable. If it was a major thing, I'd be like, whoa, no, please don't. I think I have enough oscillating jades. Don't think I'll need more of this. I should buy up my gear chests. Lingering melody. The mystic skill box. I think I'm okay on that. Okay, let's start crafting. I have some stuff that I want to do. Ah, this is the one. Puffer fish soup. I do have some puffer fish, but I don't really need this. Okay. How much will it cost me to buy this up? 50,000. Actually, you know what? That's not too bad. Puffer fish, 100,000. Okay, let's cook 2 of these dishes. Or 5 of these dishes. That's not being toxic, dude. Running away from your crimes is quite literally toxic. So I don't see that as toxic. If you choose to run from a bounty and you choose not to engage in fair behavior by literally running into the water and starting to become an Olympic swimmer, no problem. You make it so that I cannot perform the normal game function, then you get punished. This is something that everybody, you know, literally agreed to. So, yeah, don't run from bounties. The last time I had a bounty, I stood and fought. That's how bounties work. You can fight off your bounty hunter. Hell, you can call your friends if you're that scared. But you choose to run, you know, that's on you. Let me see if there's anyone else. If there's any new souls. No new souls. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go to the path trials. I'm going to try and beat this without it. Sorry, I'm not currently playing that game, so please ask on a First Descendant stream. Alright, I'd like to focus on where winds meet, Mr. Ming Sing. Alright, please support me on the game that I'm playing. I cannot answer questions about other games. Okay, use the build. Anyway, coming back to the topic, all actions have consequences. You can choose to be a dick, or you can choose to play the game and engage in gameplay. It's your choice, man. If you use cheap tactics to cheese, then, well, that's what happens. Okay, now that I meet the requirements, let's go. Oh, good, Eddie. That is also considered a cheap tactic. Oh, wait.
施主切莫灰心，武学之道不可急躁，且慢慢来。
I mean, if you want to make the hunter run, go for it, but, you know, if I see somebody running, I'll just go straight and kill your guards. Stand and fight, or, you know, enjoy the consequences. Nobody should be a coward. Somebody comes into your world and bounty hunts you, fight back. What's stopping you? Literally, what's stopping you? There's nothing stopping you. The only people who are toxic are the ones who don't engage in gameplay. I'm not quite sure about Midnight Blades. I mean, I'll be joining next, but I think it would be pretty interesting to be hunted. So, I'm looking forward to it. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to leave my sect. Ah, well, crap. Never mind. I'll do it later. First and foremost, let me swap over to this. Do that. Bag. Quick use. Equip. I'm sorry, Snow Puddle. Please clarify your statement. Man, hit the wrong thing there. Ugh. That's an irritation. Do I have to bother with taking a shield? I don't think I do, right? I'm definitely not passing this one. What a shame. Try again.
且慢慢了。
They can hunt you anytime for the ranks, but they can just come into your world and hunt you, right? I mean, that's supposed to be how it is, right? I'm assuming that's what y'all are talking about.
春分秋分，日在中恒。地法，复盘，哈，呀！
What is with him just spamming this one attack? It's so annoying.
施主切莫灰心，无
Did
需
they
知道
change this or
不可
did I
急躁
change my tactics? I
且
can't remember what I
慢慢
did
来
last time. Don't even recall dying here. Yeah, I know, online gaming man cave, but the point of the discussion is that we've lost about 60% of the player base, so we're finding out why. Obviously, if you're still here, there's literally no point in joining the discussion, dear sir. I'm sure that there are still many fans of this game. Obviously, I mean, hell, I'm still playing it. That's not the point. So, you know.
复盘，冬至日到，在于外城。
The point of understanding is to know the different perspectives, the other perspectives. I do kind of agree on that. The energy system has definitely been cited as a very big annoyance. God damn it, this guy. And his chi is also not dropping. I literally don't remember him doing this at all. That is awkward.
切莫灰心，无需知道不可急躁，且慢慢
Awkwardly
来。
strange. Well, Aluya, I mean, that's a completely fair argument. You know, it does make sense to an extent. However, that is how such games are supposed to be. So, I get it. How did I pass that guy before? Because I've done it before. I just can't remember how. Fair enough, Magic. But then again, you are weak.
地复盘四级。地法复盘冬至道在外四级知道。知道。地四复盘，天象盖地。地法复盘，地法复盘。天象盖地四级知道。四级知道。四级知道。来人，小众。
I don't think it'll get named Game of the Year because, like, as great as it was at the start, the biggest problem is that it did not retain momentum, and we all understand why. If it had retained momentum, you know, I'd agree. But yeah, once you lose momentum in this way, it generally will be considered like too problematic. Like, to me, their biggest issue was that they should have understood their player base a bit better. Because I feel that that's where it all went wrong. They did not understand that their player base wants to be able to play hardcore. And that, I think, is what lost them so much viability. Alright, Sephiroth, let's do this. Damn, so close. I could have done it with the food. I think I'll do it with the food. It has nothing to do with arc raiders, my dude. Nonsensical arguments like that will not work. It has nothing to do with arc raiders. And yes, players are also getting better at PvP. Lots of the tactics that worked before will not work again. What was I supposed to do? Oh yeah. I was supposed to craft, wasn't I? Can't remember. I see. This one's nice. Ah, if I just make some hemp paper. No, I'm not playing the arena. How does one... Oh, hemp paper is green. Okay. I'm glad you like this game, dude. Okay. Cool. We all like this game. That's why we're trying to find out why people are leaving. That's all. Okay. Let's go again. Oh my god. This guy is literally the only one that ever gives me trouble. The amount of time I have to waste on this particular stage is unbelievable. Yeah. This guy would be the only problem. That's okay, Gerald. Come when you can. Okay, did not mean to do that.
地法复盘，春分秋分，日在中恒。天象盖地。
这种切莫灰心，武学之道
Yeah, this trial is
不可
weird.
急躁，且慢慢来。
That's okay, Gerald. Fair enough. I mean, I don't mind the PvP even with ping. It's just part of the game you gotta accept. I mean, it's not completely impossible to win. It just has you just have to adjust and adapt your tactics. I'm gonna swap over for a second. Let me see. Can't remember what this thing actually does. Let me check my divine craft. Pierce through shielded enemies. Think I might actually use this. Hold up. Might actually be wise. Equip. Let's try it that way. Damn.
灰心，武学之道不可急躁。
True, but the gacha is not actually necessary for your enjoyment in the game, so that one, I mean, that's not really a problematic thing. So that I don't think relates to the player drop. Of course, I could always be wrong, but for the most part, I don't believe so. Because the gacha, unlike in other games, is not required here. It's a secondary system that you don't necessarily have to engage with. Oh, god damn it. I was locked on the wrong target. That's entirely my bad.
知道。天下盖地。下之人道，在地内衡。天下盖地。地法护盘。地法复盘，天下盖地。天下盖地。四级知道。地法复盘，天下。
I'm glad for those of you enjoying the game. You know, that's good. But unfortunately, that doesn't help the situation of the player drop. So just take note that that's the only reason why we're even talking about it. Because what we're trying to determine here is why.
在中横。冬至一道，在于外。地法复盘。地法复盘。下之人道，在于内衡。春分秋分，日在中横。地法复盘。
No, it's nothing to do with the holiday season, dude. Just for anyone that doesn't know, I'm a professional YouTuber. I do this for a living. I don't make statements solely due to seasonal effects. And either way, the holiday season has nothing to do with the player drop. Players play their MMORPGs and favorite games more during the holiday season as opposed to not playing it during then. So yeah.
天下盖地。
I don't believe that the seasonal effect had anything to do with it. No, player base, we're not measuring player base solely in one way. What we're doing is we're actually just seeing the trend. We're testing the trends because, for example, the trend right now on Steam is absolutely downward. Okay, this in all video games, whenever Steam shows a downward trend, all other platforms show the exact same trend. So I am glad that you guys enjoy the game, but please take note, this is something that's coming from me as a professional. All right, the biggest complaint is the energy system. If you think that the energy system is perfect, that's great for you. Except that most players do not like it, and I do believe that it is a strong reason for why we've had a 65% drop on Steam. This means that other platforms are dropping by the same amount, if not more. Again, look, if you don't believe this, please find statistics that prove me wrong. But so far, nobody will be able to do it because, quite frankly, other platforms do not show their player counts for very good reasons. All the same trends that you see on Steam are seen everywhere else. If this is your first time playing a major video game, totally understandable. But again, I say this as a professional that's literally worked for and worked with several different video games. Anytime you see the Steam trending downward, it means that all other platforms are trending downward as well. It means that players are having a problem with the game. They do not like something about the game, and that is causing them to not stay. You see? games that are very healthy and have a very stable player base, they don't drop at all on Steam. Warframe is a very good example. I don't normally cite it because that's a whole other discussion by itself, but Warframe is a very good example. Arc Raiders, all right, while I disagree with the fact that Arc Raiders is the reason for the drop in the player base of Where Winds Meet because they're two completely different genres, Arc Raiders has a very stable player base, barely any drop during the holiday season because during the holiday season, everyone was playing. So, yeah. I don't think the energy system is good at all. I am an old school gamer. I believe that we should go back to the old school days where you can just grind as much as you want. Players who have the time to grind deserve to be able to grind as much as they want. Players who don't, I'm sorry, but that's how MMORPGs work. I think that that also threw everybody for a loop because when it comes to MMORPGs, when it comes to wanting to play games like this, one of the biggest factors that, oh, no wonder I'm doing so badly. Oh my God. Okay. Let me swap to that. I was literally missing a whole ass item right there. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. If I'm not missing a whole ass item, let me try re-equipping this as fire. I'll have to take the other consumable again. Oh, the things I do to succeed. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I don't believe in this energy system. And look, I understand that some people might feel like they, you know... Look, the game shouldn't be in check. That's the point I'm trying to make. Why do we want to keep a game in check? If we want to grind all day, we deserve to be able to grind all day, you know what I'm saying? I know not everybody will agree, but I feel that this is something that would genuinely help player retention numbers. What makes the energy system so good? For those of you that are thinking about it, you know, and you say it's very good, what makes the energy system good in your opinion? What do you think about it makes it good? Because isn't it a limiting factor? Don't you want to be able to grind with your friends all day? And everybody is calm, Speedy. Nobody's like panicking or anything. It's just that, look, if you got a 65% drop in your player base over the holidays when people are gaming more, you know, it's time for the devs to have some serious concerns. That's all I'm trying to highlight because this is exactly what happened with several of the other games that I've played and worked with, and devs did not take it seriously, and what happens is that you end up losing your players to something that you did not intend. And I would hate to see that happen here because at the end of the day, we all love this game, don't we? The Chinese version is because of their laws. They have gaming laws that prevent people from playing too much, which is why they introduced an energy system to limit gameplay time. So China has these laws, but global doesn't, which was a part of our earlier discussion. It's why this is such an interesting and hot topic, I guess, because what people have realized is that, hey, you know, why exactly are we following laws that don't actually apply to us when these laws come about as a result of governments taking control of their people's experiences? Lack of content. If lack of content makes people stop playing, that's not a very good MMORPG, sir. Do you understand that? This is exactly the issue that we're trying to highlight. If a MMORPG, a multiplayer online game, makes you stop playing, all right, because you run out of story-based content, that is not a very good MMO. an MMO is something that you're supposed to be able to grind as much as you wish with your friends. You know, think World of Warcraft. Why has World of Warcraft remained one of the most successful games in history? It's because it comes from an older school time. Yes, such laws and things like that did not exist because back then, if you wanted to play WoW and literally die in your gaming chair, as I highlighted, you know, you could literally do so and there would be nothing to stop you, which is completely fine. If people want to do that, that's on them. You know, I don't feel that a person should be limited because at the end of the day, that's choice, that's free will. You know, a player must be given free will. That's the whole point of being human, right? If I didn't miss that first execute, oh my god, this would be over already. I would have had it. Ah, what a shame. I'm gonna retry it. Unfortunately, this game is an MMO because it's quite literally advertised as an MMORPG. Every single advertisement has been advertising this as an MMORPG. In fact, they ask people to advertise it as an MMORPG. And Kurahi, that's not the case at all. The energy system is just driving players away. It's not bringing in anyone new at all. If it was bringing new players in, we wouldn't even need to have this discussion. That's what I'm trying to say. People make a lot of arguments, but where are the facts? If indeed the player count was increasing, then you should see an increase or at least a stability on Steam if we are gaining more than we're losing, or if we're breaking even, but we're not. We are actually seeing a strict downward trend on the player count, which is the whole issue. So, you know, and look, I don't want it to be as grindy as the old MMORPGs. I do agree on that. People these days don't have as much time. But it would be nice if we had a bit more, I think, personally, of the older school systems. Listen, I don't disagree with what you're trying to say, Fat Ass Wolf, but you have to understand that they have advertised this game as an MMORPG. A lot of us came into this game expecting an MMORPG. When you advertise yourself as that, you know, and then you don't meet those expectations, people get disappointed. And Speedy, what I will tell you is that, again, as a professional content creator, look, I've got 4 years in this game. I've worked with a lot of games. Everybody always tells me whenever every single time, right? I have discussions like this, and I've had these discussions on several other games as well. Okay, I'll tell you this right now. People always say, oh, when season 2 drops, players are going to come back. Do you know that people said that about this other game called The First Descendant? I've been a content creator there for more than a year. Every single season, I would talk about the player count drop and say the devs need to be concerned because, look, I really supported that game. I worked really hard for that game, and I really liked that game. But the devs never listened to me. I said, look, you guys have to be seriously concerned about this right now because your player count is falling and the people that are coming back are less each time. Devs said, nah. Their white knights and their people that they surrounded themselves with all said, oh, don't you worry, robot. You're overreacting. Next season, next content drop, people are clearly coming back. They won't. Indeed, Speedy, but that is a completely separate issue, you know? That is a completely separate issue because what I'm trying to say is that the fact that they had no content was not a concern for them. You're missing the point. If devs do not take player count drops seriously, eventually it drops to a really bad situation, you know? I mean, look, I think you're letting your emotions get the better of you, Speedy. you're missing the point of my argument, and you're missing the point of what I'm trying to say. You feel so strongly about this that you're getting hopped up and angry and all this kind of stuff. You shouldn't be doing that. If you want to have a fair discussion, then what you guys need to think is, don't think like a white knight. Don't think only about defending your ground, because I'm not attacking you. I want this game to succeed as much as you do. I'm just giving you a perspective that you guys might not realize because you're players. I'm a professional. There's a strong difference. What is going to happen here? And look, I will swallow my words if I'm wrong, but what is going to happen with this game if it keeps going on this trend is that in about, say, 6 to 8 months, when the player count drops even more, what you'll see is that content creators will stop making content. I myself will move on, and eventually it'll happen exactly with all the other games that I played and moved on from. People will come to my stream when I'm streaming a totally different game, when I'm streaming the next game that gives me my opportunity. They'll be saying, hey, Robot, why don't you play this game anymore? Man, I've been looking for this. Like, there just won't be content. You will start to see the fall off, and the fall off is already happening. This is after they've chosen to spend a lot on their advertising budget for NA and EU, which I happen to know because I'm in the creator Discord. And listen, playing games hardcore for 20 years, that's great. But you are kind of white knighting, buddy. You got to understand that I'm not making an argument for one game or another, nor am I making a comparison. What you fail to understand is that I'm explaining to you, or at least trying to explain, that devs should be concerned about downward trends no matter what. And I'm also explaining that certain arguments don't exactly work out, like the whole Season 2 comeback argument. Yeah, sure. People will come back, but it will only be a portion of those that left. And it won't be the entire player base. And each time the seasons come, there's going to be less and less and less. No one is denying that we're going to get Guild Wars. No one is denying that we're going to get a brand new building system, but people don't engage with that, Mr. Ashbourne. I could very well be wrong, but I don't think any of those will actually bring players back. That's my worry. Now, especially if people are stopping because of the energy system, because it doesn't solve the core concern of, according to the player base, about 55, according to the voting base. Now, I know it's a very small sample, it's only 300 votes, but about 55% of people are concerned. Not every game, but for live service MMOs, that is what they should be doing, indeed. I mean, okay, that's a fair enough argument, Ashbourne. If it's the gacha system, okay. But the gacha system is not required. It is not a requirement for power. It is purely cosmetic, which is good. So I don't see why that should cause a loss in players unless they're hungry for outfits, which are, again, not exactly a part of the, not like a big part of the game. Mr. Brandon Cho, actually, that's not the case at all. I'm just trying to find out what people have to say and, you know, their reasons for things. The poll itself just gives me a general indication. You know? But yeah, coming back to the point that I was trying to make, the thing that you need to understand is that this is not a gacha game. It is advertised as an MMORPG. The only gacha is the cosmetics, and that has no impact on gameplay. So if you're talking about this and treating it as a gacha game where characters come out that are SSR pulls with banners that whales spend on, this is not that game at all. This is indeed actually advertised as an MMORPG. Whether the devs, you know, misclassify or not, that is beyond the scope of this discussion. But this is an MMORPG, end of story, you know. And they are not treating it as one. They are treating it as a mobile game, which is dangerous because I believe that many people came in under the impression that we are getting what is effectively a martial arts MMORPG. Several of the articles that talked about this game prior to release all talked about the exact same thing. You know, they all talked about the exact same thing. They said this was an MMORPG. It was a martial arts MMORPG. I don't disagree that there are games that give unlimited ways to grind and are not exactly successful. Duet Night Abyss is one of them because they basically emulated Warframe's system, but they were nowhere near as successful, mostly due to a really, really bad mobile launch, but there's also a lot of other problems underlying service. I don't disagree with that, Speedy. That's completely true. But if we just compare to other video games and we don't address the core issue here, then the player count will continue to drop. Fans, of course, will stay, but then eventually what you are left with is, just like with all other games out there, you are left with nothing more than a core fan base that will become a shadow of its former self. And that may never, ever achieve the glory that it had in the past. There are a multitude of reasons, and either way, we're not here to discuss Lost Ark, so let's focus on where winds meet. But what you need to understand is that when we do these comparisons to other video games, we can poke holes in the flaws in those video games that we don't see here. But just because that game has a system that went badly for it, doesn't mean that the system would be bad here. Since day one, people have wanted to grind their gears, and the fact that we required energy to do so made them feel very upset. And this is something that I've heard ever since I started streaming this game. People have not been happy with the energy system. Which is why it would be nice, to, at the very least, in my personal opinion, have some way of allowing people to grind fully. Perhaps they could start by reducing the energy recovery. I understand that they have to be fair to the Chinese player base, but at the same time, if we're forced to follow Chinese laws, I feel that the global version of this game will effectively go down the drain eventually. As it is, the global version is a completely separate animal to the Chinese version. It's a completely different version that we're on because the Chinese version is way ahead of us. These are things that need to be considered. If you like your favorite video game, of course you want to stand up for it. Of course you want to promote what's good about it. But we should not look away from the flaws, and we should take trends seriously because it is very rare that trends are wrong. That is something I will say. Okay, trends have not been wrong for most video games out there, and they will not be wrong for most video games that come after this. There's very few games where the trends have been wrong. So I just hope that both players and the devs will take it seriously. I'm sure that many of you support the devs and want to show continuous support for the devs, which is good. I'm happy for you guys, and I think that that's good. But what we need to understand is that retention is very important. There are other limits as well, Reflex, yes. And I feel that those limits all have problems. Mr. Speedy, all games do have a downward trend, of course. But you have to look at the magnitude of the loss. This game came out in November last year. It fell all the way through December, despite new content coming out. And it will continue to fall. Arc Raiders does have a downward trend, but they still retained 89% of their player base. So, yeah, they actually did really well. In fact, Arc Raiders started out with less players, got more players, which was absolutely insane, and only started to trend down now. Mrs. Speedy, other extraction shooters have tried and failed, so just because it's an extraction shooter doesn't automatically make it retain players. Not everybody plays extraction shooters. Like, I feel that you're very biased, sir. That's not the point of the discussion. I feel that you're just here to try and defend this game because you feel like you're being attacked, but that's not the case, sir. Extraction shooters are a genre of game, Lord Mugen. They are a type of game that you basically have to go in, you drop in, and you try your best to get as many resources as you can. And then you try to extract without dying. So you could die to players, or you could die to AI enemies. It's a player versus environment, PvPvE type game. And Escape from Tarkov was the most famous, and the only one that was really, out there before Arc Raiders, and I believe Bungie has something called Marathon. I don't believe it's out yet, but I believe that they're working on that. Oh, come on. Accidentally grabbed this guy instead. Didn't mean to do that. Apex Legend is a battle royale different. Extraction shooters are not battle royales. They usually feature environmental factors, whereas battle royales are more like you loot equipment. So that's a core difference, which I hope helps to explain it. But yes, that is a major difference between battle royales versus extraction shooters. Extraction shooters are in general designed more from the perspective of you're supposed to survive this hostile environment, try to get as much as you can out of it, all right, and leave without absolutely getting shredded, either by the normal enemies or by other players. You're most welcome. And look, Speedy, if you think that my argument is pointless, you're welcome to your opinion. At the end of the day, it is your opinion, and I'm not going to try and change that. But in which case, there's literally no point for you being here, because we're here to have a discussion with the people that are concerned about this game and want to do their best to resolve it. So, if you think that all of this is pointless, and, you know, you have nothing meaningful to contribute other than to defend every single point, which, again, is not the point of this, it's to literally hear out player concerns and discuss them, then, I mean, sir, what are you doing here? Player base will always follow the streamers, Gershon, to be perfectly frank. And that's another thing that a lot of devs have to be aware of. Once player count drops enough, and streamers stop streaming the game, because they're no longer making, like, large sums of money, you'll start to see even more drops, not only in the player base and stuff like that, but you'll just start to see more drops overall with the game itself, and that is usually pretty sad when it happens. Ooh, damn failure. Damn, I should have healed up.
且慢慢来。
地法复盘，
Time will tell, but I usually try to serve as an early warning system for a lot of games, especially when I see a very concerning drop. But, of course, if my warnings fall on deaf ears, that's completely fine. Like I said, for me, I just issue the warning. And of course, I hear out the players, hear what they have to say about things, and, you know, get where they're coming from and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you are right that time will tell. And who knows, I could be wrong. Oh yeah, everybody's got tons of stuff to do. I think that just for the majority, unfortunately, that kind of stuff is just not engaging for them, which is why they feel so strongly about it that they just left. That would be another point. It is repetitive, unfortunately. Well, that's what a lot of people have been saying, Mayoi. Like, at the end of the day, we don't want to be limited by the system because, or at least half the player base, at the very least, does not want to be limited by the system because it's silly. Why are we limited? It is a law that exists in China, not in global, you know? global gamers are more used to being able to play whenever they want. Now, mobile gamers, of course, do not have this concern because for mobile games, it's not really a worry. You know, since mobile gaming, by its very nature, was always built around energy systems and was always limited. Totally cool, totally okay. I hear that. You know? I think a lot of people right now, they're just so worried because this game is so much more than just a mobile game. It's so much more than all that. And we're really having a great time. So we would like to see the game, you know, continue to do well into the foreseeable future. Ouch. Damn. That's what a lot of people seem to argue, but I don't think that that's the case. It's not about having more energy. It's about being able to grind and farm the gear you want. But if people leave simply because you give them more energy, then that essentially, to me, indicates a very bad game design. Because you're essentially saying that there's no content to do in the game, and there's no true content once you get the gear you want. Which, if that is true, then what we have is a bad game design. No matter how much we like it, that's not something defensible. Oh, it did even worse this particular round. That's pretty crazy. I think I will switch back to Poison. Poison seemed to work best. I'd hardly say this game is niche, but I feel that right now players need to understand that there is a serious concern that is coming from the people that are silently leaving. And for those that did participate in today's discussion, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I hope to have more discussions with you guys as time goes on, because it's interesting to see what people have to say and what people are thinking about all these things, you know? But the Chinese version is only looking better because there's more content there temporarily. Eventually, I'm sure that with their limitations, if they continue to limit energy, it'll all end up the same. That's my biggest worry. Easiest path trial for second path? I don't know. I haven't tested it. I'm still trying to finish this one. Because I still don't have a good sword for this one, and unfortunately I rely heavily on my sword.
天地仇。天下在地。玄黄天水，精神香无魂。天下在地。
Oh, whoops, that was the spirit. My bad. I got so confused for a second and just started killing the spirit instead.
冬至一到，在于外头。知道。天下在地，四级知道。地法复盘。春分秋分，日在中恒。地法复盘，天下在地。如此天地仇。精神天然色。地法复盘。小猪。春分秋分，日在中恒。
地气，
地法复盘。春分秋分，日在中恒。四级知道。地法复盘。天下在地。松浪之道在于外头。
Damn, I failed too many parries on this.
春分秋分，日在中恒。四级知道。夏之之道在于内恒。四级知
Damn.
道。
What a shame. I guess I'll have to wait till I get stronger gear to restart this. Ooh. That's a pain. Yeah, I can see why it would take you a few hours. It's doable. Like, I've missed it by a second before, but I was like, eh. Excuse me.
少侠瞅着眼熟。
Nameless sword and spear is entirely a preference. But we'll have to see. Yeah, maybe the goose mystic. But either way, I'm just going to wait. How to use the glowing bar for the strategic sword? I don't think that's part of your strategic sword. I'm pretty sure that that's the divine craft. But alright, time to do another path. Since I've one attempt this week, people were asking me if I would do this one, so okay. Let's use the base one. Oh wait, shit, I didn't read the mechanics at all. Whoops, my bad, sorry.
施主切莫灰心。
Oh, I just have to break their shields, huh? Okay.
来现修罗。显我属威。 显我属威。承我属名。承我属名。
Nice. Yeah, the Poison Divine Craft is definitely good. I'll try Honking Havoc, but mine isn't leveled up at all. So if I leveled that up, all the way, it might work out. But so far I haven't leveled it. Mine's only tier 2 right now. But it would be pretty nice if I could break them faster, yes. So I guess maybe when I get the chance, I will break through this. No, it won't use up the attempt. Like, it just uses the attempt to open up the trial, essentially. After that, you can retry it as many times as you want. It won't use up your attempt. So, yeah. I will have to give this a go. It might suit up well. But I don't think I have the stones to level this up. I will try it, though. Why not? Because I'm going to level it up at some point. Enhances the chirp's impact. Yeah, I'll have to push it to the next level, but this is pretty cool. Second chirp's impact. Oh. Cool. I'm down.
那个是有东西啊。
Well, why not? Why don't we have exactly that? In place of drunken poet, why not? I'll give it one more go. Let me use the current build. No IPVP. All right, let's give it one more go. I fully agree, Dragon Seal. I think that the open world is being wasted, which again is a problem that another game that we played also had. So I completely understand that perspective. All right, guys, we'll do this one last trial and then I'll end stream with some closing statements. Thank you for all your discussions today, though. It has been very, very good seeing what everybody had to say. Yeah, hell yeah. I PvP with Eddie. So, yep, we do love PvP. But only when there's time. But yes, the best way would probably be to check some streams and videos where I do PvP. And you can observe it from there. Oh crap, I didn't bring the honking havoc. Ah well. Goose is with me. But I think I got this. I should have recorded this run. Yep, this is the one. Basically, if you get a series of like literal perfect guards, you can essentially just break her. Nice. Okay, finally freaking did it. Now I can release my guide in peace. But you literally need it to be perfect. Oh my god. I can see why some people tried for freaking 3 hours. It's so bull. But it's pretty cool as well. Okay, doable. At least I proved it. I like to prove it first before I shoot my mouth off and give people advice. Ooh, enlightened one. Okay. Can't remember. Where's the typing shop? Oh yeah, there we go. String of coins. Oh, you can get gold. I think I'll just save mine. Just in case. But alright, that's cool. Alright, I can now go to sleep happily. Alright, let's do the closing statements, guys. So, today we've had 367 votes in the poll. Thank you to everybody that did vote in the poll and did share their information with us. We really, really appreciate that. So, after 367 votes, it appears that the biggest concern that most people are having right now is that the energy system is not quite good. They've also cited some other reasons as well. Only 12% think that PvP is too toxic, and only 10% think that PvE content is too hard, which is really, really positive about this game. I think it's really, really interesting to see that people are not complaining about the difficulty of the content. Maybe, like, let's say out of a sample of 360 people, only about 36 of the people would be complaining that, you know, PvP is too toxic, that's why, you know, the player count dropped, or only 10% are saying that the content is too hard. So even if we were to look at the player count drop and only 10% of the drop is due to this, it would appear that the majority of the drop is that the energy system sucks. The limitations of the game, and the points brought out by a lot of other people, have mentioned that the energy system, the limitations, and the caps on many of the currencies in the game is not so good. That being said, I think we need to also recognize that some of the arguments being made here and now, sorry, let me just lower the game volume for a second. Some of the arguments being made by the people in chat are also very valid. They do cite that it is pretty important that we have this energy system in order to allow people time to catch up. People can't just run completely ahead of others, you know, and one person actually brought up a very interesting point whereby if the whales of the game can pay for power and then they get outdone by some sweaty guy that's grinding, you know, that would be an upsetting factor. And I feel that to an extent this may be actually true, but we should also recognize the fact that this kind of thing doesn't really apply as strongly to where winds meet, because there isn't really a way to pay for power here. It's mostly just cosmetic in nature. And as far as I know, the cosmetics do not actually affect anything game related. So in my personal opinion, having heard all the various arguments, and thank you to everybody that had a calm discussion about this, I think that what is actually causing the player drop is that there is a limitation on content. There is a big feeling of loss once you've done everything in the game. And somebody else mentioned that this game advertised itself as an MMORPG, but it is more of a single player action type RPG, which actually makes a lot of sense because that's what it is. After you've explored the world, you've done all the content, you've murdered all the bosses, there isn't actually anything left to do. All you can do is sit in PvP all day, which may not necessarily be something that you want to do or something that you want to particularly make your entire stream about. So this, I think, has caused people to feel negatively about the game, because once they get to that point, they're like, man, what am I doing any of this for? Like, is there any further purpose to me playing the game? So these are a lot of things that we have to think about, and I do hope that you know, the player count will increase, like other people have said. You know, once season 2 comes around, I'll be having another discussion like this once season 2 or whatever drops, and once more you know, more is known. But if the trend continues downward throughout this month, you can expect another discussion stream on this in the near future. But it's very, very interesting to see this trend occurring. And I do hope to do a video on this so that more people can share their thoughts and ideas rather than just on a live stream. But I hope that more people can share their thoughts and ideas on why there was a significant drop in the players and why they think that the player count dropped at all and whether or not it will recover or what the devs could do to recover. If you ask me, we've had several talks about solutions and things like that, but I will say that on a personal level, when it comes to solutions for this, I say this in air quotes, solutions to this, there isn't really much of a solution because the nature of this type of game, when we're talking a game that focuses on Souls-like, content, Souls-like gameplay, there isn't a whole lot to do except rerunning bosses, refighting bosses. Part of the fun of the Souls-like game was starting over again and then just going through, beating all the bosses, maybe trying a different build. But we can't really do that here because we're locked down by energy to experiment. They have said that multiple characters will be coming so that we can try different builds and try different ways of beating bosses. I'll be playing a legendary character as soon as that comes in, so you can look forward to it. But yeah, I think that'll be very interesting, and that actually might be something that completely changes the fate of the game. So do look forward to it when eventually that comes in, and I hope to see what happens in the near future, guys. So thank you very much for being here for this discussion stream. And I look forward to seeing more of you on my Where Winds Meet streams so that we can talk, discuss, and share more information, So yeah, let's have a good time, and I will see you guys on the next one. Don't do anything too weird while I'm gone, all right? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Catch you all later.